Are you a metalhead? Or do you have any friends or family that are metalheads? If you tick one or two of those boxes, then chances are you've been to a metal show, or you will go to a metal show at some point in the future. So, this video is going to be all about the pros and cons of metal gigs as a whole. There'll be some crossover with like hardcore shows and punk shows as well, maybe even some goth gigs, but I'm mainly talking about metal shows. But again, there might be some crossover there. Yeah, there are a lot of different kinds of metal gigs you can go to. We're going to be talking about all of them. The good, the bad, the big, the small, local, if you're going somewhere else to go watch a show. So yeah, let's get into it. Starting off with some of the pros is you have the opportunity to meet some of your favorite artists, which can be really fucking cool. I have this picture here that I got with the vocalist and bassist of Bleeding Spawn, a local death metal slam band. And that was like amazing. I remember after I did it, because I was with my sister and I like could not go up to him and be that fangirl and be like, oh, please can I have a picture? So my sister went up to him for me and was like, hey, my sister loves your music. Can you like, could you take a picture, like, if you'd like? And he was so nice. And I remember I was just shaking afterwards because it was like insane meeting this like celebrity in my head. It was dope as hell. So that's obviously a great thing that you can experience at shows. And even if you don't get to meet them, just seeing your favorite bands live is insanely different to listening to them like at home or whatever. Like, at the Bleeding Spawn show, I was just baffled because obviously your phone or your speakers, depending on what you listen on, can't handle the amount of bass that is actually needed in a live show. And it is fucking euphoric. Amazing experience as a whole. You can also get the chance to meet a lot of cool people that have a shared interest with you. You can make metalhead friends, which is always nice because as a metalhead, I know how rough it can be when all of your friends hate your music taste and you're just like, shit, I have no one to talk to about like the thing that I love most. There's a great chance to like really sport your best merch and whatnot. Like, I've never gone to a metal gig without wearing corpse paint, and it is just the best excuse to wear it. I love wearing it, so I'm always happy when I get to. I prefer smaller gigs to the bigger ones. I haven't gone to any international shows yet, but just in my local scene, I definitely prefer the ones that are more like dive bar-y style. I think it's quite nice because once someone's finished their set, generally the band goes and has a drink at the bar and you actually have a chance to like socialize with them, and it just feels a lot closer, you know, and more intimate kind of thing. Like at a small venue, if there is a small mosh pit going on, it looks insane and it looks like the dance floor is packed. Where at a bigger show and a bigger venue, in my opinion, people get more hesitant to either start moshing or headbanging or whatnot because of how large the area it is. It can be very intimidating to be the only person doing anything, which I think is bullshit because you're there to enjoy it and you're there to watch your favorite band playing, and also you want to show that support for the band you're watching. So I definitely tend to prefer the smaller gigs. But there is an appeal to bigger shows as well, because generally there are bigger bands that play at bigger gigs, which also attract more fans, generally speaking. So pros and cons. Also, at a bigger gig, the tickets are most likely going to be way more expensive than if you're going to a small local gig. So that's another pro to small gigs. Another pro of going to metal gigs is merch. So a lot of the time, it is really hard to find merch online, because either they won't ship to where you are, it's really expensive, or maybe if it's a small band, they're just not selling it online. They don't have a Bandcamp or a website or anything. So going to a live show, there's a very big possibility that there is going to be a merch stand for at least one of the bands that are going to be playing, which is really cool, because often I find that merch at shows is like slightly cheaper, but that just might be where I live, because getting merch here in South Africa can be really fucking expensive, because metal's not as big of a scene as in like the US or whatnot. So it might be different depending on where you live, but at least here, a lot of the time it's actually a lot cheaper just buying it in person. And it always makes the gig feel a bit more special, because you have like a memento of it. This Displeased Disfigurement shirt I got at my first metal gig ever, and it's one of my favorite shirts because they're one of my favorite bands, and it just made the whole night so much more special. That's another thing, like mementos at gigs. If you're getting photos, if you're getting merch, there's also like different collectibles. Like sometimes bands will hand out little cards that say when like merch giveaways are happening, or you can even keep the actual posters for the gigs. And I just think keeping all that kind of shit is really cool. So I like that a lot. Some cons of metal gigs though. Listen, I love going to shows so much. It's one of my favorite things, but it's not always fun. Firstly, get ready for some pain tomorrow, because after headbanging or moshing or going into like a wall of death or something, you're gonna be in pain the next day, so be prepared for that. I've kind of become accustomed to it, so it's not that bad. But I remember the first couple gigs I went to, I was like, am I dying? Like, have I caused actual internal damage? Also, as much as there is a very large possibility that you'll find really cool people to socialize with or make friends with, you might not. A lot of the time, depending on the scene and also depending on the gig, people can be very unfriendly and kind of abrasive, which I think is bullshit again, because we're all here for the love of metal, so might as well just like have fun and not be a dick about it, you know? But I have to say, most of the metal gigs I've gone to, the people have been like extremely pleasant. Another con of going to gigs is I don't know if everyone experiences this, but I definitely do. It's like post-concert depression. Yeah, I don't know. You have so much fun on the night or nights of, depending on how long the gig is or concert, but fuck, afterwards you go home and you're just like, I'm sad now. Like, I want to be back there, because I think, at least for me, it's so euphoric going to a show that it just pumps adrenaline and fucking everything in your body, and then you're just wiped out after a show, and you just kind of like want to lie in bed for days. Going to gigs also has the chance of you getting merch that isn't sold elsewhere. For Bleeding Spawn, I got this cassette tape, which I fucking love, and I think is so cool, but yeah, they don't sell these online, so it was a thing I could only get when I went to a show, which I thought was really cool. Another con of going to gigs is hearing damage, weirdly enough. Yeah, if you're not equipped with earbuds, which I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm a bad concert goer. I've never worn earplugs to a show, even though I know you really are supposed to, because hearing damage is so bad and it's like really hard to reverse once it's done, kind of thing. And I want to be able to listen to the music I love for as long as possible, so it's definitely something I should invest in. But even at a show, if you're like right by the speaker and suddenly they start blasting their drums and their guitars and everything, fuck, like you'll hear, once you leave the stage area, you'll just hear ringing in your ears for at least like 5 minutes. So yeah, definitely I guess a danger of shows, but it's very preventable, because earplugs guys, earplugs. Another pro of going to shows is that it's just overwhelming, like, joy of not exactly acceptance. Like, yes, you feel accepted because these are your people, you know, but it's more about, like, just feeling how cool it is to be surrounded by people that all love the same thing as you do. Because especially, like, with alternative subgenres, a lot of people who grew up alternative, or even as adult alternative people, are kind of criticized and ostracized as being weird or not fitting into societal norms. But you don't have to do that when you're at a gig, because this is the norm. You're at a metal gig. They're gonna be metalheads there. And it's really fucking cool, because every time I've gone to a gig, it's just like this overwhelming feeling of, like, acceptance and joy. And, like, I'll walk in with my corpse paint and my battle vest, and you'll, like, get a middle-aged dude that sees me and, like, flashes me the devil horns. And it's like, it's just such a wholesome, fun experience. Yeah, I love going to shows with all of my heart. And as much as there are cons, the pros entirely outweigh them, at least for me. And, last pro, you can get a ton of fucking cool pictures and videos. I'm not really the kind of person that wants to take pictures and videos at a show, because I kind of just want to enjoy the moment. That's usually why I take, like, one of my parents or my siblings with me, so that they can take pictures, because they don't enjoy the music, so it's fine. They don't need to live in the moment. But yeah, really cool as well, because again, mementos. Thanks for watching. Fucking go to a local metal gig right now. Go support local bands. Do it.